Join us in just a few moments' time for the next round of the UK&I Monday Night Skippys here at Snetterton for the first time. Good evening, and welcome to Snetterton for round number 10 of Monday Night Skippys here on RaceSpotTV. And wow, we've got a good one for you today. It is the first time ever Snetterton in the UK. So the first time this track will run officially. The qualifying is just about in the books. It's pretty quick, and this track is, well, it's new for me, new for a lot of these guys. I've driven it once or twice, and it's pretty quick, Linus.
Yeah, it's really quick, and it's got some really long straight and long sweeping corners. I think there's like just one really tight hairpin and like another pretty tight corner, so it's going to be a lot of fast racing today, and hopefully some good action-packed racing.
It certainly is, of course. It's a long track, but it doesn't feel long. It feels quite small, in fact. But without further ado, speaking of long lists, let's go to our qualifying results. On pole for tonight, Stuart Adcock with a time of 2:04.4 exactly. Mick Watson in second place, for Mark Mercer in third, Christopher Cash and Fremantle Iders, last week's winner, rounding out your top five. Simon Edwards, Andrew Leach, Anthony Catt, Mark Turner, and Peter Cowan in 10th place. Gordon Ramsay, Robert Plumley, Sarah Savage, Luke Clark, Matt Cox, Nick Sigley, James McRitchie, Nicholas Vaughan Roberts, Steve Leverley, and David Yamamoto making his return in P20. And Linus, we want to look at our 1 second bracket for this one. Pole 2:04.4, 2:05.4 really hits us at 16th place, so a huge split on this track, just showing that a very new circuit to drivers, rather than one they all know like the back of their hands, will really split the talent.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know, this track is really long lap time, so it's obviously going to split up, but still having 16 cars within a second on such a long track is pretty amazing. So it's going to be interesting to see what they can do from further back in the field today.
Certainly will, and as the cars take the grid, it certainly shows something a bit unique with this, because we have 52 drivers, and it's not a long track. It's only 2.97 miles long, so nearly 3 miles in length, but it's very twisty. So of course, deceptively fast with the long straights, but a lot of switchback corners really slowing these drivers down. And well, up at the front it's Adcock, Watson, Mercer, Cash and Antonides, so a very potent top five, and no Tom Ward this week, so we'll have to see how that one plays out. Well, the car's taking to the grid here, and we'll be ready to go in just a few seconds' time. For the first time, Monday Night Skippys, a UK&I Club Series, running another UK track for the first time. I think this is the first time we've done a first time in a UK track since we've had Donington in the service for a couple of years. A track we now consider bread and butter for this series. Well, Snetterton will step up as the newbie on the circuit. We'll have to see how this one performs for us today and how the racing is, of course. It's my first time watching racing at Snetterton, and probably yours too, at least in iRacing terms. Drivers will get their engines revved up in just a second's time, and a lot of time on the gas could lead to some warm engines, especially if there's any pack racing. We'll have to find out if that happens. But in no time at all, we can hear the roar of those tiny little engines in the Skippys. I say roar, it's more of a loud squeak. We'll hear something in just a moment's time as they all get ready to make their first moves. And it's really quiet. I feel awkward now. I need to say something to keep the air busy as 2 minutes ticks over. Engines will rev. 13 laps of racing will begin right now. Good start by Adcock, but a better start by Watson, who really gets himself forwards there ahead of Mercer, who didn't pull away quite as quickly. Top 5 pulling off in the very good succession though. Next group not quite as tight. All trying to find their lines and bottling up behind them. Nearly a problem, but not quite there. There's a big jump off for Stuart Adcock, who's really pulled away already by the first corner.
Place, but looks like they're actually going to be able to keep it in the grass, so not going to be a car going off.
Yes, there was a bit of an issue back there. I think that was the likes of Peter Cowan involved in that one, I believe, Linus. But we'll head off onto the middle stretch here, and Adcock's already broken the gap hugely. Look at him go. Off like a bullet. It's Stuart Adcock into this second section of the 300 circuit here at Snetterton. It's not the shorter layout, this is the full 300. And Adcock really stretching already. As they'll pull down here into this second inner loop section. Of course, when you're running the slightly shorter layout, this loop they've just taken, this whole keyhole section through the infield, isn't actually on the track. In fact, if you see Stuart Adcock passing up here, the turn-off he's about to hit now is where the normal short layout will go. And they'll run down this middle straight here at the circuit. Adcock actually broken draft range, I think, so this could be a huge one for him. If Watson, Mercer and Cash stick together, he should have a fairly difficult chance if they catch up. But a couple of cars a little bit further back have had some slowdown issues. Who has had issues there? Nick Sigley. We'll have a look at what's happened with those.
Slowing down in the middle of the straightaway. That looks really weird. I don't know actually what happened there.
They pulled apart for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why they did so, but I think a couple of them may have taken... Oh, they took too much curb. 2 corners back, exiting the inner loop section. And I believe it put them in a situation where they had to slow down and give that time back. And without a corner to do it, and they've had to slow down on the long straight. So unfortunately, both decided to go either side of the track and make everybody shoot the middle, which is very convenient of them. Oh, contact back there. I believe I was looking at one of them.
Luke Clark
has had a bit of an issue.
Now,
yeah, Nick Sigley was involved, I think, there actually, Linus. He was. Nick Sigley in the final corner there, in a bit of a tussle. We'll get that showing up there now. And yeah, cars turning each other around just a little bit behind them. Charles Kellyman, one of the drivers involved in that yellow, black and green machine. Contact with the back of some of the others, and it was the 43 that made initial contact there. So 43 car, Jonathan Sheen getting into the back of a competitor and causing a bit of a bottle up back there. Tim Adcock also involved. Back to the lead, and Stuart Adcock with a 0.9 second lead. Big lead for him there. One lap here, Linus. Actually should be just about out of draft range. I think the draft range closed it up, so he's just beyond where these guys can catch up and they start fighting. He's got a comfy race in his hands.
Yeah, he made a really good start, and I don't really see the other guys closing in on the straightaways like they should do. We'll see when they get onto the long straight here, but if they start battling behind him, he's got this win in the bag already, unless he makes a mistake. So gonna be interesting to see, but it doesn't look like the gap is coming down too much here, so he could be in a good seat as we see 6th place, slowing down for a penalty there as well. That's Fahim Antonides, and that is going to cost him a ton.
It really is. Antonides having a slowdown penalty. Another driver caught by that same corner. It seems as though that one corner invites you to eat a lot of curb, and unfortunately, if all 4 wheels go across it, iRacing will issue a slowdown penalty for time gained. And it'll put you in a situation where you do have to give up time on the longest straight on the circuit. hurts drivers immensely. Antonides dropping back out of the top 10 there with that one. Here we go onto the final corner again, and we'll see the gap Adcock has. Of course, in qualifying we saw some weird times, Linus, because the start-finish line is after they've all left their pit boxes. So they're actually pulling out of their pit boxes, getting clocked onto a lap, and having their outlap timed about 10 seconds slower than a race lap. And look at this, 1.3 seconds there for Adcock as Mercer fights Watson. That's definitely buying him time.
Yeah, that is definitely going to help him pull away, and I think he's really happy with this. We've seen him going side by side through the hairpin as well as Mercer on the inside of Watson, but Watson holds on to second place, and the guys behind are obviously not liking this either, because they're also seeing the win slip away, but at the same time he keeps them closer to second place, so good for the leader, but not for the rest.
Certainly is at this point. Just saw the accident from lap 1 there replayed for you, as Adcock widens his gap there to 4 cars behind him in the top 5. Pretty close, but Stuart Adcock had some good race laps, I think, before this event, Linus, because he is showing an absolute mastery of this circuit. As just behind him we've got some battling here just outside your top 10, and it starts at about the 11th spot here. Anthony Catt there with Nicholas Vaughan Roberts, 11th and 12th place. Gordon Ramsay and Sarah Savage just up ahead of them as a pair. Oh, so we've got some 3-wide action going on. There you go, Mercer and Watson there fighting for position here as we come through to this latter part of the circuit. Mercer gets through, putting him up to second place, but it's really allowing Adcock to disappear, as they must be aware, but Mercer feels he's faster. He wants to have a shot at it.
Yeah, he's definitely not wanting to sit back here and watch Adcock pull away, and now he's got a little bit of a gap down to Mick Watson as well in third, to see if he can start catching up, but it's going to be a long way to go up to the leader of Stuart Adcock. It looks like he's got this track imprinted in his mind, almost.
Certainly does, and we'll see how
he just increased the gap by another second.
He has. Wow, 2.4 seconds there, Linus, on lap 4. So we've got 10 laps remaining in this race. 10 laps. How big a gap can Stuart Adcock build here with one car versus the field? This is one of the most dominant runs we've seen this season by any driver. No one's really had it this easy so far. I'll put that caveat of so far in, because who knows what could happen over the next 10 laps. But Mercer and Watson fairly even on pace, battling for second place, with Cash and Edwards fighting as well. We'll have a look back at that issue with Vaughan Roberts and Catt. Oh, unfortunately, right now the Catt has not got the cream. He's back behind Vaughan Roberts, and Leverley and Cowan catching up from behind. So we've got a foursome here, down from the 11th through 14th spot.
Just turning into a big battle here. See if they can get a little bit closer going down straight away, but at the moment it looks like they're about to spread out again, so Anthony catches to, actually that is Vaughan Roberts at the front holding on to that 11th place ahead of Anthony Catt. They're going really wide off that turn now.
They really are, as everyone runs very, very, very wide into this middle portion. Everyone's giving that a lot of berth, I think, because they're knowing that's a slowdown.
Oh, we got contact for second place.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, crash! Big crash. Yes, big crash for second and third place, and it was. Like Mick Watson got up the inside of Mark Mercer there, going through the final part of that long middle stretch, and he got pushed out wide, got sideways, and came back across the track and clobbered the car there. I believe that was Vaughan Roberts in the 92. No, it's Christopher Cash. Hits Christopher Cash there, and the pair of them go sideways, and they collect up Simon Edwards, and well, Mark Mercer gets away scot-free in second place, and with that time lost, he's going to be at least 3-4 seconds back from Adcock now, and nobody to work with, which means Robert Plumley and Andrew Leach get promoted into third and fourth, which they didn't expect, and suddenly got a podium battle here for a position with Robert Plumley, who's currently leading that group. I believe he is. No, he's not. It's actually
Mark Turner actually leading that group.
Yeah, Mark Turner.
For now, but that's not going to stay that way for long.
No, as here comes Robert Plumley, going to make a move here on Andrew Leach. Number 147 car of Plumley on the 502 of Leach. Can they get involved? Sarah Savage catching them from behind. So we could see a group forming up here for a new fight for your leaders. As all, Plumley was way off the track there, running into the 100-degree corner there, the second corner on the lap, as alongside comes Gordon Ramsay. I hope I won't have to ask if he makes a hash of this one, because his hashes would be rather tasty. But Leach and Plumley and Turner pulling away there. Turner and Leach getting a good run off from this one. But look at that, 3.8 seconds for Adcock out front from Mark Mercelinas. Controlling run from Adcock. I think he could turn it down from 100% here to 90 and still be looking to really lose positions.
The only one that can stop him now is himself, so as long as he doesn't make a mistake, he's going to win this one easily. So he's just got to be taking care of that engine, making sure he doesn't get a slowdown onto the long straightaway, and he should have this in the bag. Mark Mercer, though, on the other hand, he's got to look out from Turner and Leach behind him, because if they start working together, they could catch up using the draft. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen at the moment either, so might only have a battle for third in this race.
Certainly could be. We'll have to see how they play that one and what does develop from it, but it's looking pretty comfortable for them.
Oh, got a crash again. Actually, that's only contact, though. That's Plumley, and that is Sarah Savage.
Yeah,
but
Sarah Savage and Robert Plumley nearly had well, they did have contact, but not severe contact. Both cars still in fine working order. Running through here the end of the lap, and they'll come up towards this very sharp final corner. One of the nastiest corners on this track, in fact, Linus, this final corner. It's so abrupt, as big contact happens there. In fact, no, I think that's the bit yep, that was me on replay. So that was me seeing the contact we just discussed. As
there's almost 3 wide though through the hairpin up here now.
They were, yes. I'm just looking at that bit as we have gone back to live now, and Plumley and Savage racing hard here. Got a little bit of damage from that contact. That was a fairly big hit. 4.2 seconds for Adcock now. Mercer dropping back here to Turner, who's 2 seconds back from him. Second group there with Leach and Ramsey as well. Turner and Leach staying pretty close together, I suppose.
Got Simon Edwards back here in 6th place as well, ahead of Plumley and Savage. He's got no nose cone, and he's somehow holding these people up and building a huge group behind him. So this could turn into something rather interesting within a few corners, by the looks of it.
Certainly could, and they'll have to make sure they're careful, otherwise that could become a big trouble for them. Further up, Plumley going round a slow-looking 27 car. That's Simon Edwards after his contact. Tried to stay out, but no nose cone. Big drag on the straight there as Plumley goes steady past. Savage blocked, couldn't get past, but is going to try now. 27 car, sorry, the 53 of Sarah Savage, trying to get past the machine of Simon Edwards, but he's kind of in the way. Slow, and it's letting Plumley escape here, but Savage just can't find a line through as he's hugging the inside. His right to do so as a car on the lead lap, but she's got to find an opportunity here on the front stretch. Get a good run, Sarah. Out the final corner. Should have the draft easily here, and look at the toe she gets. Coming up behind there, the car of Simon Edwards. Edwards just moves out of the way. He says, yep, I know I'm damaged. I'll give you the line into the corner, although he's going to try and take a defensive line, I think. But oh, she washes out.
Sarah's going around.
And she comes back across the track and donks the inside barrier. Tried to brake late into that corner, a little too late, and washed out. Big slide and a big bonk there for Sarah Savage, and she will lose a lot of ground and possibly the race there for her. On lap number 7 of 13 here, halfway through the race, and well, most of the track is congested now with cars everywhere with 52 runners. Gap for Adcock is currently 5.3 seconds. Commanding run from him, and wow. Mark Turner and Leach are catching, Mark Turner and Andrew Leach are catching Mark Mercer here. Mercer not looking like he's in the best of spots.
He's lost about half a second over the last lap, but he's still 2.5 seconds ahead almost, so as long as he's just taking it easy, I think he will be fine. If they start battling for third again, he's gonna be able to take it pretty easy, but he can't relax too much because the way they're going now, they're catching him, so could have a battle for second on the last couple of laps here, but 3 cars coming behind him, so better watch out.
They better had indeed.
As they're about to go 3 wide for P6, sorry, 7, 8 and 9 here down the back straightaway under the bridge. But they fan out.
Are. Making it look easy there actually, and just behind them is the group here from 9th on backwards. Vaughan Roberts, it's Cat, it's Cowan, Leverley, Bidewell. Adrian Bidewell, a driver we've not seen in this series for quite some time. He's running back there in 13th place. Behind this pack we're looking at, as the group running up here has inherited the Simon Savage car, or Simon Edwards car, Simon Savage. I'm amalgamating drivers now. That's probably not my job to do. 5.8 seconds back from Mark Mercer to Adcock. He's lost even more time, losing every lap. Stay on track, Stuart Adcock, and you've got one of the easiest flag-to-flag victories in Monday Night Skippy's history. Gap, though, to Turner and Leach has dropped by about 3/10, and they're being caught by Gordon Ramsay as well. Robert Plumley has dropped back towards Vaughan Roberts. He might have more damage than it looked like after that contact with Sarah Savage. His side pod's heavily damaged there, Linus. It's definitely holding him back.
Yeah, it's definitely not helping him, but he's doing his best to score as many points as he can.
Certainly is, and we'll see what he does with that. But points may not be on his mind at the moment. Surviving this race certainly could be, but he's holding on for the moment. Points, of course, extending all the way down to 20th place in the series. Place now occupied by Sarah Savage. Actually, she's had another crash. Oh, we'll get a quick replay of what happened with her, but Sarah Savage had an issue on the racetrack, and this was in the first corner, or sorry, corner number 2 actually, and that was with the number 31 machine of Richard Warmingham into that second corner, and Savage just seems to... No, Warmingham just overextended. He just turned out too much from the corner, cut across Savage's nose and wrapped the pair of them up in the grass. So not the way either one would have wanted that to end. In fact, it looks like Sarah Savage's car has impaled the cockpit of Warmingham's machine, so he can't get away either because he's trapped on a Skippy. A Skippy Bab. A car Bab. Is that a word?
I have no idea, Rachel.
You know what? We're going to make it a word now. As Sarah Savage still looping out as that car heavily damaged, trying to make her way back to pit road and get herself a new machine. Stuart Adcock on lap 9 here of 13. Running very, very clean. Down to turn number 2 on his own. Catching lap traffic. In fact, about to catch Alan Patterson. There. Patterson there in 43rd place. So he started 36th today. He's not had a great race. Drivers who are lap down or out so far, including Struan Winky, Luke Clark, Mick Watson, Steve Hefford, Kelly Boland, Carl Townsend, Paul Thompson, Kip Stevens and Michael Barry. Every other car still running. Like we said, Patterson about to get lapped by your race leader here. In fact, he pulls straight over and lets Adcock through with no drama there before the corner. Very good racing etiquette from the series admin. Second place, Mark Mercer has maintained that gap at about 2 seconds now. He's holding his ground against Turner and Leach. It just shows you the calibre of likes of Adcock and Mercer here, Linus, that even running alone, they're holding their own against a pair of cars who were able to draft on quite a fast track.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they've been able to work the draft properly around here today. You know, it doesn't really look like it's helping them too much, and they're not being able to use it like they normally do, switching back and forth on the straightaways, and I don't know why that is, but for some reason the single cars are able to keep away. And it feels weird to say this, but the highest battle we got on track is actually all the way down in P6, which is still pretty high, but we're used to seeing battles all the way through the field. So we've got a trio fighting for 6th, and even that's kind of spreading out now, so got to look way down in the field to find a high battle, and that's really unusual for this race or series.
Certainly is, and we'll see how they play with this one. As Mercer runs a little wide on the exit there, as does Turner behind him. Everyone seems to be washing out wide on that final corner. Holding their own though. running along now towards the first corner once again. 7.150 gap there for Stuart Adcock, your leader. 7 seconds clear. That is massive. Going after Christopher Keeble back there in 41st. Should be long before 41st, but goes down a lap. Matt Cox with the car after that. Unusual to see Cox back there, qualified 15th. He's had a tough race as well, Linus.
Yeah, not really been going the way he wanted it to go. All the way down in 40th place. So next car to go a lap down, I think he is as well. So
certainly is here, and look at this one. Andrew Leach just made it past Mark Turner into 3rd place. Bit of a battle going on here from 3rd, 4th and 5th. Leach making his way forward. It'd be great to see him grab a podium again. One of these drivers has been improving so much over the season's, Linus, and now in a position where he's fighting for podiums, and that's incredibly good for him.
yeah, hopefully we'll see him get his first win. Maybe not this year or this season, but maybe next season. It won't be today, probably, but if he can win this battle and get a 3rd place, that would be a huge achievement for him, and I don't think it'll be too long before we see him at the top of the podium at least once.
Certainly
Unless
not.
he's already been there.
Leach has actually broken, he's not yet, but he's broken the gap there on Turner and Ramsey. Ramsey fighting to catch up here to Turner, so he could be slipping down in the spotters. Oh, Mercer gets tangled up there with Patterson. Patterson didn't quite get out of the way in the right place, so just a fluke with the track layout. But Mercer gets through, no problems there. Towards the end of the lap here, on to lap number 11, with Stuart Adcock, who's out the final corner, and his lackadaisical stroll around Snetterton Racing Circuit here in the Norfolk countryside. Lovely relaxing day for him. Maybe he can pop off to the Norfolk Broads after this and have a relax. Maybe go boating. Into the first corner he comes, lap 11, gap when Mark Mercer arrives. We'll be back across the line, and that'll be 7.2 seconds, so it's maintained. And the gap's come down to Leach. He's now been caught up by Turner and Ramsey, so we could see that battle resuming for 3rd place, Linus. Paul Thurston, we'll have a look at our El Capitan cam. 45 car back in P17. He's gained about 11 spots so far, so he's had a good race. Not the best qualifying there, a 206.3, so 2 seconds back from your pole qualifiers. But he's made a lot of ground in this one, and he's looking like he's about to catch some more. In fact, there's a lot of cars ahead of him.
He's really got potential of getting at least into the top 15 here, and considering he qualified 28th, that's a pretty good effort for him. As we got side by side here for 3rd place again. That is Turner going back on the inside of Leach, but Leach looks like he's going to be able to hold on to that position.
Certainly does, and Leach will do his best to hold on to this position. He's getting tight there as Turner and Ramsey now side by side, joined by, I think that's Plumley.
That's a lap car of Ben Daniels.
It is a lap car. Ben Daniels behind them going down another lap to this group. As the lap car actually ahead of Mark Mercer will be helping tow him. Leach under threat here. 502 is going to be passed on the inside by the 13 of Mark Turner. Dives it into the inside, but can Leach hold it on the outside? No. Big slow corner there. Big braking. Lap car of Daniels nearly was flying in there. Ramsey looks like he's about to strike here on Leach. Leach just lost his balance there in that very fast corner. Update, by the way, points are down to 30th, not 20th, so top 30 will score points. That right now is Tim Adcock in the 30th and final points paying position. We'll see if Leach can come back and mount an attack here on Mark Turner. Up towards the start-finish line, they'll come. Looks like he'll be in a good spot to attempt a draft pass. We'll have to see if he's able to get one through. The tow starting to take effect, but it's a little too late for the corner. He'll have to follow him in. Good run through, though. Might have a chance down towards the hairpin. But Ramsey looks like he'll take the dive as Leach goes to cover. Ramsey goes to the outside. Missed opportunity there for Gordon Ramsay as Andrew Leach will hold that spot in 4th. Looking for every way to get back against Mark Turner, though, who's holding that 3rd spot now quite securely.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job holding on to that 3rd place as they're battling it out behind him, coming up to more lap traffic, and they're staying out of the way nicely here. And the gap up to second place actually increased by almost 3 seconds on that lap, so I think Mark Mercer is pretty safe in his second place as well. As these guys just continue to battle, and as far as I can see in the top 20, this is the only battle we have going on, so I think we'll stay with these guys until the end of the race.
It's looking that way indeed, and we'll keep our eyes on this one. It's 7.4 for your leader, Stuart Adcock, to Mark Mercer in second. This is our real battle here we're seeing in the top 10. Behind them it's a little bit more broken up, apart from the likes of Peter Cowan with McRitchie and Leverley running in the 9th, 10th, 11th spots. They're pretty close. Very spread out traffic behind them. Freeman is down in 24th. 5th place qualifier trying to claw his way back up here. Just had a spin out for Simon Askew on the run down to the second corner. He's lost his front end. We'll look at what happened to him. Big crash. Oh, came out of the first corner, got too wide, got on the grass and lost the back end. Boom. Big hit there. Back onto the racetrack, in fact, from that impact. Hope he's okay. His car is not, though. Back to our fight here with Turner, Leach and Ramsey. Leach has got him back past. Turner puts him back in the 3rd spot, a podium position for him on to lap 13 here, the final lap now. One more time around this track. It's 13 corner racetrack on the 13th lap. Can Andrew Leach hold on here and secure himself a podium tonight in round number 10? Huge for him if he can. That driver's been pursuing so hard. The AM Racing driver, Linus, a fantastic bunch of seasons, improving every time. This would be a big one for him if he can get another podium.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually pulled the after. He made the pass going down the back straightaway on the last lap, where we've seen a lot of passing going on today, and he's managed to pull out a bit of a gap here, and it looks like he might be able to hold on. It's just a question of how well they will all get onto that back straightaway, which they are soon going to be approaching. But one little mistake and they will be right there, and he could very well finish this race in 5th place, but we'll have to see.
So he does, but he's looking like he's in a nicer spot than he has been. That back stretch, though, like you said, will be the big telling factor. Needs to get a good run here and has to run defensive here. Carries a lot of speed out there. This will be good for him. This looks like a secure run, Linus. Big gap there over Mark Turner.
Turner actually went a bit wide and bumped through the gravel there.
Looks like Leach will hold on here. This is the one passing opportunity that was really a threat. Turner tried to go deep there. Wasn't going to have a chance. Oh, he went deep there for the short right-hand corner. Big braking zone, and he went brave, very brave indeed. Leach holds on there. That might have been his last-ditch attempt here, as there's not really an opportunity before the line. And speaking of the line, Stuart Adcock comes to the final corner, and Adcock will take the laziest win we've seen all season. Flag to flag here, 7.8, possibly 8 seconds clear of Mark Mercer for the win. Stuart Adcock, flag to flag, dominant victory. Across the line goes Mercer in 2nd place. 8.4 seconds back, and Leach holds on for 3rd, Turner 4th, and Ramsey in 5th place. A cracking race there, Linus. We've got Vaughan Roberts as well from 18th place.
3 wide here. Come in for P8, 9 and 10. Looks like it's going to be actually 9, 10 and 11.
Cowan.
But
Cowan will be ahead of them for the line. He is indeed. Peter Cowan comes home there in 8th place. Simon Edwards, Steve Leverley, Bidewell in 11th place, great from him. Ewan Patterson, Nick Sigley, Paul Rowell, and Paul Thurston in 15th place. So he gained quite a few there towards the end.
Also, we got a side-by-side for P30 and 31 back here between Matthew Forrest and Robert D'Souza, coming around the last few corners.
D'Souza in the black car ahead there of Forrest in the yellow, who's got no nose cone at this point. Last couple of corners for them. Not going to be a good one for him on the front stretch there, Linus, with the draft, but D'Souza might have this one for 30th place. Tim Adcock will go across the line ahead of him. Will D'Souza be our final points playing position? He is. Move him up 1 spot. D'Souza, actually no, 29th there. Forrest in the 30th spot. Great results. Well, without further ado, Linus, we'll go to our post-race results. Stuart Adcock wins with a fantastic flag-to-flag victory there, 8.4 seconds clear of everybody else. Mark Mercer in second place, with Andrew Leach in third. Mark Turner and Gordon Ramsay rounds out your top 5. Robert Plumley, Nicholas Vaughan-Roberts, Peter Cowan, Simon Edwards and Steve Leverley. Behind that, Adrian Bidwell in 11th place, Ewan Patterson, Nick Sigley, Paul Rowell, Paul Thurston, James McRitchie, David Yamamoto, Christopher Cash, Neil Andrews and Lorne Murray in 20th. Rest of the results up on your screen. And wow, great racing here at Snetterton for the first time in Monday Night Skippys, and we'll have interviews for you in just a moment's time. The post-race show at Monday Night Skippys is half the reason why we come here. I know it's the reason why I'm here, Linus. We'll be back in just a moment's time. Stay with us. Welcome back to the post-race show here on RaceSpotTV for Monday Night Skippys, and well, it's been a busy first race here at Snetterton, and who better to talk to us first off about his result? 15th place from 28th is the one, the only, the man, the myth, the cup of tea legend. It's Paul Thurston.
I've realised that every time I start one of these I start with the word yeah, so I decided not to start with the word yeah today.
You just did.
No, I didn't. I started with the word, I can't remember now, it was a long time ago. I enjoyed that. I haven't enjoyed a race quite that much for ages. Yeah, it was, well, I had no practice here. Didn't really know, I had one practice session in the week. Other than that, I didn't know the track. This is actually where, in my real life racing career, this was my first race, Snetterton. But that was the old layout, that wasn't the one of the newer ones, and so I was a bit confused after the first corner. Then remembered it again when he came around the bomb hole. But I came round Gerard's, I remember, on the Mini on 2 wheels, so that was interesting. Managed to avoid that today. I surprised myself. I just kept it, managed to find a little bit of pace in quali, you know, top 30, so that I won't come in the points. Just keep it clean, and I kept it clean, kept out of people's way. Nick Sigley, I didn't defend particularly hard when he came up behind because I knew he was quicker, and I thought I'd just pull me along. And I had that brilliant little race-long battle with Paul Rowell. I just couldn't quite catch him, and I wasn't going to take any risks, as I said, because I wasn't really comfortable at the track. So 15th, I had this completely tagged as a drop score.
Well, it turns out you were wrong.
It happens a lot.
It does, yeah, surprisingly often.
Just 2 races left, isn't it?
I believe there is, yes.
I'm used to women insulting me, so that's fine.
Wow. Okay, so we'll move swiftly on to Barry West, who came home today in 24th after qualifying in 38th. So that's 14 spots up for you, Barry.
Yes, I think the trick is to don't practice at all these races, and then you keep out of trouble then, because yeah, I done 3 laps practice. I managed to get in, yeah, I think I did about 4 or 5 laps qualifying, and yeah, that's a good result. I mean, I kept out of people's way, but they didn't keep out of my way. Well, my front wing is still intact, but my rear spoiler is a bit mangled, and the side pod's a bit mangled. But yeah, once you get through the first lap, it was just a matter of you know, keeping it clean. Fahim came up behind me, and I thought, well, I'm going to lose time if I try and fight him, because I did think about it. There's 3 laps to go, and I'm not going to hold him off for 3 laps. I'm probably not going to hold him off for 3 bends. So I let Fahim go and try and tagged on behind him for a bit. And then I think Christopher Case, when he came out the pits, he came up a hell of a knots behind me. So I thought, well, no, to do the same here, let him go. And yeah, it paid off. Yeah. So I think I'd have probably fallen back. Jason Rosenthal's was getting closer, and yeah, just managed to keep the gap to the end. Yeah, 24th. Picked up. I mean, I don't know how many people didn't finish. I mean, that's probably where most of the places, because I don't think I overtook anybody on track apart from
don't put yourself down.
Inside on lap 1. But yeah, it's just got to be clean, and it's a long race, isn't it? I thought there's no point in fighting for places into turn 1. Just let them go if they want, and then chaos ensued, and just put your way through it.
Certainly
did. That.
And well, I will tell you though, at least 14 cars finished on track behind you, so it wasn't all you.
Oh right. Thanks. Makes me feel better. Right, so I'll probably try 2 laps practice next week and see if that.
2 laps might be a good plan. Well, on that bombshell,
don't overstress
we're going to wrap.
yourself, Baz.
Yeah, he better not, because he might actually do well if he tries. Either way, on that bombshell, we will end things for tonight at Monday Night Skippies. I've been Rachel, I've been joined by Linus, and always Hugo on the cameras. Next week, we're at Alton Park, and it's the historic layout, so join us then. See you next time. Bye.